Right, well, this is a video made, how far back was it, Dad?
2001.
2001, where my dad was, David Hughes, was originally going to Scotland with his original P4 Rover, 795 LNP, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And he's just going to turn the volume up now so we can have a look at a brief extract.
These are the view from the road as we go out of the village of Port Anne. We're still making our way down towards Lochgilphead. As we're passing through. Now that the sun's shining, it's made a total difference to it. The sun is just starting to come out now.
How long does it go for?
Just a few minutes. It just goes to show we're a little bit further down the road. And as Paul McCartney used to sing in his song Bullet Kintyre, as the mist rolls in from the sea. And we can just see how it's starting to come in again with the rain and mist. It's 361 miles from Neston. That's what we've covered so far. What we're looking at now is on the far side of Lochgilphead. So we're just entering the town of Lochgilphead, which is on the A83, Oban to Campbelltown Road. It is one of the main towns of the area. In street design and layout, it is very similar to what place we went through? Inverary. Very similar to Inverary. So we're coming up to the junction now for the Campbelltown Oban Road, and we're going to turn right and follow the tourist route to Oban. Well, here's Val making full use of all the tourist information literature she can find, and she's going to be able to tell me everything about the area shortly. As we can see, it's our fourth brew of the day. It's now nearly 4:30, and what a nice view that we have got. Couldn't get much better than that than to sit at the wheel of the Duchess eating my second scone and cup of tea. Now I hope when Uncle Tom sees this video he is really going to appreciate the amount of effort that I'm putting into it for him. It's absolutely remarkable the way that the weather can change in Scotland. It just sort of blows in. 1 minute it'd be raining and the next minute, like this now, the sun's come out and it's just so totally different. Now, according to the tourist information board that Val's been studying, all this land that we're now looking at 2,000 years ago was covered in water. So there we go, we learn something all the time. Key break and history lesson completed about the village of Kilmartin, which is quite interesting. We will carry on now towards Oban. Unless something else catches our eye and we stop before we get there. As we're getting near Oban, we're about 24 miles from Oban now. You can see again how the scenery starts changing, and this is where the western side of Scotland gets its ruggedness from. The road that we've been travelling on have been mainly not using overdrive because there's been quite a bit of climbing to it. So I suppose since I was at Kilmartin I don't think I've been in overdrive at all, so it'll be interesting to see what the fuel consumption is at the end of the day. Now we're just dropping down a 1 in 12 hill to the village of Calford, if I'm pronouncing correctly. I wouldn't be quite sure. We're just going to come round this corner now, which is quite a tight one. And that's the view that you get as we descend. Since dropping down into Kilford, I think if I remember the name of the place correctly, we've been climbing all the way and we're now right up in the top of the, hopefully the top of the range of mountains that we're going through, and shortly we're going to start dropping down, and it is quite sharp hairpins most of the way, so we'll have to see how we go on. See how the sun breaking through the clouds, just picking out the tops and sides of the mountains over to our right. The weather can play a very big part in making a trip through Scotland enjoyable or pure misery. At the moment, well, really all day it's been quite enjoyable, except this morning it was quite bad with the rain. We've just stopped for a minute or two to have a look at the rhododendrons. So I've stopped so that I can just film a few in this village that we're passing through. Now we're still on the A83, heading down towards Oban. It's now getting on for 5:30, and you can see really how quiet it is. And this is the Colfale Hotel. Leaving the village on the rhododendrons, we have to start mountaineering again, and I think we've gone for quite a while in third gear climbing up this road. We are eventually, I think, going to call at a place called Seal Island, which is right down on the coast before we get to Oban. But it's quite a scenic ride, but it's third gear's touch. You're not going to be able to do anything else except third gear all the way up here. And there's no problem with the Pinkin at all, because she's running on that mixture of high octane 97 and 95. Now it's 1 in 7 up here, 1 in 7 going up. She's just holding 20-25 mile an hour, and I've got the accelerator half down. Of course, as they say, the one you've got to get up to the top of, you've got to go down the other side, and this is the views that we get as we run down the other side. Now I suppose it must be knocking off time in Oban and start to pass 1 or 2 cars. Turned off the A83, we've just turned off, and we're going to a place called Easdale, which is going to take us down to Seal Island. To get to Seal Island, we've got to go across the only bridge that crosses the Atlantic. Now it is a little bit of a twisty, windy, uphill, downhill road, so I'll concentrate on getting to the bridge that crosses the Atlantic. Now we're just approaching the only bridge in the world that crosses the Atlantic Ocean. And that is no myth. This is the village of the Isle of Seal, and this is another view of the bridge over the Atlantic. Now from the top of the bridge, and I just pan round the village. Now this bridge is quite steep, and there's the village pub, and the Duchess in the foreground of the petrol station. Move round. There's the Atlantic going out to the sea. This is a rarity. What a snap! Well, after leaving the bridge over the Atlantic, we followed this coast road down round some quite hair-raising bends, and there is one or two cars on it. It is pretty steep. All with passing places. So eventually this road is going to take us down as far as what you can go on the point of Scotland into the North Atlantic. It is a fishing community down here, and of course it's got a bit touristy as well. And since they've opened a golf course, they're getting a lot more cars. But over there in the distance, if Val can pick it up, is the village of Easdale. These cottages that we are passing were known as Fisherman's Row, but they've all mostly been sold off as holiday homes or retirement homes now. And this is where the ferry goes to the island, to Seal Island from Easdale. It looks as though the lifeboat people are doing a practice down here tonight. It is now getting on for 6 o'clock. Now from what I've read, you can't get any further down off the coast of Scotland to the Atlantic Ocean from here. I first came down here when I first came to Scotland in the 1970s, and it was certainly not as commercialised.
Right, well there we are then. So a little bit of an overview of my dad's car back in the early 21st century when he was driving that original P4 that he had, and hopefully some people will find that of interest. So there we go.